Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Now, I want us to look at what is a man's worth. It was obvious that Jacob did not know what he was worth. Jacob didn't know what he had. Jacob was a good livestock farmer. He was a good header. Laban had sons. Some of his sons must have been older than even Jacob. But when he came, you see, when they said, Jacob said, the Bible said that Laban said he knows that because of God was with Jacob, his livestock has increased. But you would think that is something miraculous. Oh, okay, one day the flock was just coming. It doesn't work that way. It's because of the competence, the capacity, the talent, and the skills God has given to you. And when you work it, you will see the increase. So there was managerial skill, administrative skill. He was a prudent person. When he came, he knew what to do. And that is what God has given. If you don't discover your skills and your talent, you will always be envying somebody else that has that skills and talent. Laban's sons could have done it. They didn't do it because they didn't work their skills. They didn't even recognize they had a skill. But I'm sure from where Jacob was coming from, he knew what to do. He understood what to do. And he came, God prospered the work of his hands. So, so people, if might be thinking that God is going to bless you, one day you're just going to wake up and someone is going to call you and just give you a job or give you this. Yes, it can happen. But if you don't have that capacity, you'll be like the person that God gave one talent and he went to go and bury it. It is the skills, the gifts that you have, the experiences that you have. All of them combined is going to help you achieve that thing that you want to achieve. And this is what happened to Jacob. Jacob was able to use all his skills and all his talents, and that was what helped Laban to Laban's flock to increase. But the problem Jacob had was he didn't know what he was worth. So let's look at what is a man's true worth, and so we can understand where Jacob must have missed it. A man's true worth is not in the things he possesses, but in his earning power. What is earning power? Ability to earn. What are the things that you can do? What are the things that you can do to make you earn? Do you know how to earn? Most of us during the lockdown in COVID, the regular things that you were doing, you couldn't do it. So, how do you earn? If you don't have skills, how will you earn? Now, I'm telling my sons, you must have a skill. I don't know whether you want to have PhD in theoretical physics, so I don't care, but you must have a skill. You must be able to do something that when all that is not working, this with this one you can earn. How can I have a son that you say you are doing computer science, and you are not earning with all these jobs you can get, Upwork and all these places you can get. I said, well, I opened a bank account, I opened a dorm account, and I brought someone to even give him open account. And I said, look, if you don't start earning, don't come back to my house. What do you mean? You are using computer science and you cannot earn when there are jobs. Even me, that your father, when the dollar rate was getting to 1,008, I had to go and be looking for work. So they tell me I did this one. Me, I'm earning $20, $30 per hour. Then you, my son, that is using computer science, you don't want to earn. I said that you can't eat. Oh. If you come, you go and stay in the big queue. You and the gate man will be gisting there. What am I saying? Because when things shut down, how can you earn? During COVID, my cousin called. I said, but you have a car. Why don't you carry essential services? You have a car. Why don't you carry things to people's houses? Why don't you go to the market or go somewhere, buy it, then you come and you put it at the door. Then from the door, you explain to them, this is this is this. People were doing it. You had a car. The children were at home, so they started online classes. How about doing online revision for the students and all? Because you can, there were a lot of things that were happening. People were earning. Do you know that during lockdown for some people was the best time for them? You know why? Because they know, they understand the concept of power, of earning power, ability to earn. So when everything goes bad, will you be able to raise everything again? That is earning ability. When you lose all your worldly possessions in one day, you still have the ability to earn. It will, with that ability to earn, that knowledge is what is going to keep you earning. So ability to earn is equals to grace to earn, which is also equals to power to get wealth. It's a power, and that power comes not in the power that I will just look at Pastor Bob here and I'll just transfer in the spirit and transfer 1 billion to his account and I say, go and enjoy yourself. It doesn't work that way. If I want him to have that 1 billion, I'm going to help him to understand that the power to get wealth, your earning ability, that is what it is. Earning ability. So I had a sister-in-law when she was here waiting to go and meet the husband in the UK. So she wanted to do, I think it's God that whispered it in her ears to go and learn how to make braid, to make wigs, to do hair. This woman is big time in the UK right now. She can do this fashion thing. I don't know what to call it, wigs and what do they call it again? Hair. She can do braids, and with that, she's busy, and she's big time in the UK. That is what she understands, the power, ability to earn. And you see, that ability to earn will be tested before before you can perfect that ability to earn. It must be tested. Let's look at Deuteronomy 8, verse 1 to 5. Before we get to the part of power to get wealth, we always think of the power to get wealth. We like that part, but I want to introduce you to verse 1 to 5 of that Deuteronomy 8. Every commandment which I command you today, you must be careful to observe, that you may live and multiply, and multiply and go in all and possess the land of which the Lord swore to your fathers. And you shall remember that the Lord your God led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness. To do what? To humble you and to test you. To know what is in your heart, whether you will keep his commandments. And most of us fail this. It is verse 2. Deuteronomy 8, verse 2. And you shall remember that the Lord your God led you all the way these 40 years in the wilderness to do what? To humble you and to test you, to know what is in your heart, whether you'll be able to keep his commandment or not. Listen to me, guys. Anything worthwhile in your life will be tested. I love this guy. I love this girl. it will be tested. I want to be a doctor, it will be tested. I want to be rich, it will be tested. I want to serve God, it will be tested. I want to be a pastor, a prophet, it will be tested. Every single thing you do in life will be tested. Because if you can pass that test, and God permits that test, and look at it here, He said, I will let test you so that I will know what's in your heart and whether you can still keep my commandments. Let me continue. Nor did your fathers know. He said, so he humbled you, allowed you to hunger, and fed you with manna which you did not know. Nor did your fathers know that he might take you, that he might make you know that man shall not live by bread alone, but man lives by every word that proceeds from the mouth of the Lord. Your garments did not wear out on you, nor did your foot swell these 40 years. You shall know in your heart that as a man chastises his son, so the Lord will do for you. Before we now get to verse 18, and you shall remember that the Lord your God, for it is he that gives you the power to get wealth, and that he may establish the covenant which he swore to your fathers this day. The power to get wealth is not tangible things, it's a spiritual thing. The power to get wealth is the ability to use the gift, because God gives us talents. We were born with talents, but that talent is the raw form. Talent cannot get you. It's the raw form of the grace you need to help you in life. So you now have to now transform that talent to become a skill. And that is the skill that will help you to earn the money. So you can talk, you are funny. Some people are naturally funny. But being funny is alone cannot make you into a good comedian. You now have to train yourself to become a good comedian, and that is where the power to earn from that particular field comes. So you are intelligent, you are good in sciences. Okay. So what do you do with that knowledge when you are waiting for something? A lot of people need coaching. A lot of children need coaching in mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology. In the interim, you're waiting for youth service, you're looking for a job, you can now be able to begin to convert that talent. You can begin to convert it now into a skill of being able to teach. You're a preacher. You know God has called you to preach, and with your peers you can be talking, you're teaching them the word of God, but it doesn't make you a preacher. You have to now convert that receiving from God and be able to now download it to believers. That's the end users. And this is where you can transfer your talent into skill, whatever it is. You are good in administration. You are good in hospitality. For instance, you have the heart. You're good in hospitality. So what it tells me that you could do well, you will do well in an event organization, because you have to have that heart to be hospitable to people. Then when you now transfer it into a skill of an event handler, it begins to work for you. So with that, wherever you find yourself, what is that talent God has given to you? It's now left for you to now sharpen it into a skill that is recognizable by anybody, and you can now use it to earn. So I'm an events person, but I'm working in an engineering firm. And because of COVID, the engineering firm begins to go under. They downsize. I have nothing to do. I've applied to other engineering firms as an engineer, but I can do events. I can decorate. I can do this decoration. I can I can help you arrange your event. I can manage your event. I can suggest. I can help you. I know where to get drinks. I know which kind of hall can be good for you because I understand hospitality, something I want to do. So if you're not getting any that job in the engineering firm, God is nudging you. You know, I told you that when Jacob said, "When will I be able to feed my house?" He was that restiveness was inside of him. Restiveness is not a bad thing. It's the Holy Spirit that puts it inside of you anytime He wants you to grow. So when you are not getting job in those engineering firms, and but you are getting opportunities to supply or do something for event companies, God is speaking to you. It's left for you now to either go back to an engineering firm and be doing this one part time, or you decide that this is what I want to do. Either way, you already have it. And like I said, for your talent to be perfected, it has to go through the fire. That's why your job in the engineering firm was stopped. That's why your job in the engineering firm was stopped. Is someone getting me right now? This is what it means. So you know your worth. You know, with these things, if you don't look at these things properly, you will not be able to find out what your value is. See, you need to know what you can do. You need to know what you can offer. And with that, you know what your value is. So when you're negotiating, you say, no, 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 no. So I will take 50,000. I will take 100,000. But I will not take anything less because